Introduction. The introduction of how to get anything you want from anyone deeply explores the science and art of persuasion, emphasizing that influence is not about manipulation, but about understanding people's psychology, emotions, and decision-making processes to create mutually beneficial outcomes. It begins by highlighting how every interaction in life, whether personal, professional, or social, involves an exchange where both parties have something they want. Whether negotiating a business deal, convincing a friend to do a favor, or influencing an audience in a speech, success in getting what one desires depends on the ability to present ideas in a way that resonates with others. The book asserts that persuasion is a skill, not an inborn talent, and that anyone can develop the ability to influence and inspire others with the right techniques. The foundation of this skill lies in human psychology, understanding what motivates people, how they make decisions, and what factors influence their willingness to comply with requests. Human beings are emotional creatures, and most decisions are driven by feelings rather than pure logic. Therefore, to be persuasive, one must learn to appeal to emotions, frame arguments in ways that align with the listener's desires, and create a sense of trust and connection. Building rapport is one of the most powerful tools in persuasion. People are far more likely to agree with someone they like and trust, and this trust is built through genuine engagement, active listening, and mirroring behaviors that create a subconscious sense of similarity. The book explains that people are naturally drawn to those who share their interests, values, and mannerisms, making mirroring an effective technique in building instant rapport. This does not mean mimicking someone in an obvious way, but subtly aligning body language, tone of voice, and conversational style to create a sense of harmony. Another critical factor in persuasion is the concept of reciprocity. When someone does something for us, we feel a natural obligation to return the favor. This principle is widely used in marketing, sales, and everyday interactions, whether it's a free sample at a store leading to a purchase, a kind gesture, making someone feel compelled to respond in kind, or a simple compliment creating a sense of goodwill. By strategically offering value first, whether in the form of a favor, useful information, or emotional support, one can increase the likelihood of others complying with their requests. The introduction also explores the role of confidence in persuasion. People are naturally inclined to follow those who appear certain in their convictions. Confidence signals competence, reliability, and leadership, making it a key ingredient in convincing others. However, confidence alone is not enough, it must be paired with credibility. The book discusses how authority figures, experts, and those who demonstrate knowledge in their field naturally command influence. This is why credentials, social proof, and storytelling are so effective in persuasion. When people see that others trust or respect someone, they are more likely to do the same. Additionally, people respond more positively to those who make them feel important and valued. The simple act of acknowledging someone's thoughts, addressing them by name, and showing genuine interest in their perspective makes them more receptive to influence. Persuasion is not about overpowering others with arguments, but about guiding them to see things from a perspective that aligns with their own interests and beliefs. Another powerful psychological principle explored in the introduction is scarcity. People place a higher value on things that are perceived as rare or limited. This is why limited time offers, exclusive deals, and the fear of missing out FOMO are effective tactics in marketing and negotiations. When people believe they might lose an opportunity, they are more likely to take immediate action. Similarly, the principle of social proof plays a crucial role in persuasion. People tend to follow the crowd, assuming that if others are doing something, it must be the right decision. This is why testimonials, reviews, and endorsements are so persuasive. When people see that others have had a positive experience, they feel more comfortable making the same choice. The introduction also emphasizes that persuasion is not just about getting people to say yes. It's also about handling objections and resistance effectively. Many people hesitate to agree because they have concerns, doubts, or fears. A skilled persuader anticipates objections and addresses them before they even arise. Instead of dismissing concerns, acknowledging them and providing reassurance creates a sense of understanding and trust. The book also highlights the importance of timing in persuasion. Asking for something at the right moment when someone is in a good mood, after a positive interaction, or when they feel a sense of obligation can significantly increase the chances of success. People are more likely to agree when they are in a receptive state of mind, making emotional intelligence a crucial skill in persuasion. The introduction also touches on the ethical implications of influence. Persuasion should not be about manipulation or deception, but about creating win-win scenarios where both parties benefit. Ethical persuasion is built on honesty, transparency, and mutual respect. The book argues that long-term success in persuasion comes from building strong, genuine relationships rather than using short-term tricks that can backfire. People can sense insincerity, and manipulative tactics may work once or twice, but they ultimately erode trust and credibility. Instead, focusing on authenticity, understanding people's true needs, and offering value creates lasting influence. Another crucial aspect of persuasion explored in the introduction is adaptability. Different people respond to different persuasion techniques, and a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. Some individuals may be more influenced by logical arguments, while others respond better to emotional appeals. Some may need social proof, while others prioritize personal trust. The book emphasizes the importance of reading people, identifying their personality types, and tailoring persuasion strategies accordingly. The ability to shift communication styles based on the audience's needs makes a persuader far more effective. The introduction also discusses the role of persistence in persuasion. People may not always agree immediately, but that does not mean the request is permanently rejected. Many successful negotiations and agreements come from follow-ups, gentle reminders, and reframing the request in a new way. The book encourages readers to see rejection not as failure, but as an opportunity to refine their approach and try again later. It also highlights that some of the most persuasive people in history, from great leaders to successful entrepreneurs, faced initial resistance before ultimately winning people over through perseverance and strategy. The book also explores how modern technology has transformed persuasion. With social media, digital marketing, and instant communication, influence is no longer limited to face-to-face interactions. Understanding how to craft persuasive messages online, build a strong personal brand, and leverage digital platforms for influence is an essential skill in today's world. The principles of persuasion apply not just in conversations, but also in written communication, advertising, and online engagement. The book provides insights into how to craft compelling messages that capture attention, build trust, and drive action in digital spaces. Ultimately, the introduction of How to Get Anything You Want from Anyone sets the stage for readers to become more persuasive, confident, and effective communicators. It reinforces the idea that influence is not about coercion or pressure, but about understanding human behavior, building genuine connections, and presenting requests in a way that aligns with people's interests. By mastering the techniques of persuasion, readers can improve their relationships, advance their careers, and achieve their goals in a way that feels natural and ethical. The book promises to provide practical strategies, backed by psychological research and real-world examples, that will help anyone become more influential and successful in both personal and professional life. Chapter 1: The Psychology of Persuasion. Persuasion is deeply rooted in human psychology, influencing how people make decisions, form opinions, and respond to requests. Understanding the psychological principles behind persuasion allows individuals to communicate more effectively, build rapport, and increase their chances of getting what they want. At its core, persuasion is not about coercion or manipulation, but about guiding people toward a desired outcome by appealing to their emotions, logic, and subconscious biases. Humans are not always rational decision makers, They are driven by psychological triggers that shape their behavior, and mastering these triggers is the key to becoming more persuasive. One of the most powerful principles of persuasion is reciprocity. When someone does something for us, we feel an inherent obligation to return the favor. This principle is deeply ingrained in human nature and has been used effectively in marketing, negotiations, and personal interactions. A small gesture, such as offering a compliment, providing valuable information, or helping someone in need, can create a psychological debt that makes the other person more inclined to comply with a request in return. This is why businesses offer free samples or trials. People feel a sense of duty to reciprocate by making a purchase. Understanding how to use reciprocity effectively can significantly enhance one's ability to persuade others. Another critical aspect of persuasion is the concept of social proof. People tend to look to others when making decisions, assuming that if many people are doing something, it must be the correct choice. This psychological bias explains why testimonials, reviews, and recommendations are so influential. When individuals see that others have already made a particular choice and benefited from it, they feel more confident in following suit. This is particularly evident in group dynamics, where people conform to the behavior of those around them to fit in and avoid the fear of missing out. The ability to leverage social proof by highlighting endorsements, showcasing popularity, or demonstrating widespread approval can make persuasion efforts far more effective. Authority is another powerful driver of persuasion. People are naturally inclined to trust and follow those they perceive as knowledgeable, experienced, or in positions of power. This is why doctors, professors, and industry experts have a higher degree of influence in their respective fields. The way a message is delivered can greatly impact its effectiveness. When information comes from a credible source, people are more likely to accept it without questioning. Demonstrating expertise, citing credible sources, and presenting oneself with confidence and professionalism can increase persuasiveness significantly. However, authority alone is not enough. One must also establish trust, as people are less likely to be influenced by those they do not find trustworthy. Scarcity is another psychological principle that plays a significant role in persuasion. People place a higher value on things that are perceived as rare, exclusive, or in limited supply. This is why marketers use phrases like limited time offer or only a few left in stock to drive urgency in decision-making. When individuals believe they might lose an opportunity, they are more likely to take action immediately. This principle is not only used in sales, but also in social and professional situations. When someone is perceived as highly sought after, their perceived value increases, making others more eager to connect with or comply with them. Creating a sense of exclusivity can be a powerful tool in persuasion. Another key factor in influencing others is consistency. People prefer to align their actions with their previously stated beliefs, commitments, or values. Once someone commits to a certain idea, they are more likely to stick with it to maintain consistency. This is why small commitments often lead to larger ones. If someone agrees to a minor request, they are more likely to comply with a bigger request later. This principle is frequently used in sales, negotiations, and everyday interactions. Encouraging people to make small agreements can pave the way for greater compliance down the line. Emotions play a crucial role in persuasion, often outweighing logic and reasoning. People are more likely to be influenced when they feel an emotional connection to a message or request. Storytelling is one of the most effective ways to engage emotions, as it allows individuals to relate on a personal level. A well-told story can make a message more memorable, create empathy, and inspire action. Using emotions such as excitement, urgency, fear, or nostalgia can strengthen persuasive communication. Appealing to someone's desires, fears, or aspirations makes them more receptive to influence. Non-verbal communication also plays a significant role in persuasion. Body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can enhance or weaken a persuasive message. A confident posture, steady eye contact, and an assertive yet friendly tone can increase credibility and make others more likely to be influenced. Conversely, nervous gestures, avoiding eye contact, or an uncertain tone can undermine persuasion efforts. The way a message is delivered is just as important as the message itself. Effective persuaders are skilled at using nonverbal cues to reinforce their influence. Another essential aspect of persuasion is understanding and addressing objections. People often resist persuasion because of doubts, fears, or preconceived beliefs. Rather than dismissing objections, skilled persuaders acknowledge them, empathize with concerns, and provide reassurance. By addressing potential objections before they arise, one can minimize resistance and make the message more compelling. Understanding what holds people back and proactively countering those barriers increases the likelihood of a successful outcome. Building genuine relationships and trust is the foundation of long-term influence. People are more likely to be persuaded by those they like, respect, and feel a connection with. Establishing common ground, showing genuine interest in others, and demonstrating reliability make persuasion more natural and effective. Influence is not about forcing people to agree, but about guiding them toward a conclusion that feels right for them. When people feel heard, valued, and understood, they are more willing to follow suggestions and agree to requests. Ultimately, persuasion is a blend of psychology, strategy, and emotional intelligence. Understanding what drives human behavior and applying these principles in a way that aligns with people's natural tendencies makes persuasion a powerful tool. It is not about overpowering others, but about presenting ideas in a way that feels logical, appealing, and beneficial. Mastering the art of persuasion opens doors to better communication, stronger relationships, and greater success in both personal and professional interactions. Chapter 2: Building Instant Rapport is a crucial aspect of human interaction, allowing people to create trust, connection, and influence in just a matter of moments. At the heart of rapport lies the ability to make others feel comfortable, valued, and understood, which can be achieved through a combination of verbal and nonverbal techniques that tap into human psychology and social dynamics. The first and most effective way to establish rapport quickly is through mirroring, a subconscious behavior in which people imitate each other's body language, speech patterns, and energy levels, creating a sense of familiarity and connection. This technique works because humans are naturally drawn to those who appear similar to them, as similarity fosters comfort and trust. When executed subtly, mirroring can make interactions feel effortless, leading to a smoother and more persuasive exchange. In addition to mirroring, active listening is another vital component of building rapport instantly. Many people listen merely to reply, but true active listening involves fully engaging in the conversation, making eye contact, nodding in acknowledgement, and responding with thoughtful questions or affirmations that show genuine interest. When people feel heard and understood, they become more open and receptive, forming a deeper connection that makes persuasion easier. One of the fastest ways to establish common ground is by identifying shared interests, experiences, or values, as people naturally gravitate toward those who share similarities with them. Even the simplest shared experiences, such as attending the same event, knowing mutual acquaintances, or having similar tastes, can serve as a bridge for deeper conversation and trust building. Small talk, often underestimated, plays a significant role in uncovering these commonalities, as it allows for the organic discovery of shared interests and creates an entry point for meaningful dialogue. A genuine smile is one of the most powerful nonverbal tools in establishing rapport because it immediately conveys warmth, friendliness, and approachability. Combined with open body language, a relaxed posture, and direct yet non-intimidating eye contact, a smile can break down barriers and encourage positive interaction. Similarly, humor is an excellent way to foster connection, as laughter creates a bond between people and helps dissolve any initial tension or awkwardness. A well-placed joke, a light-hearted comment, or playful banter can make conversations more enjoyable and memorable. However, Humor must be used appropriately, as forced or inappropriate jokes can have the opposite effect. Another crucial aspect of rapport building is the principle of reciprocity. When someone receives a positive action, they feel inclined to return the favor. Simple acts of kindness, such as offering a sincere compliment, remembering small details about the person, or providing a helpful gesture, can create a subconscious sense of obligation that strengthens the relationship. People appreciate being recognized and valued, so offering specific and meaningful compliments, such as praising someone's insights, accomplishments, or style, can leave a lasting positive impression. Trust is at the core of rapport, and one of the quickest ways to build trust is through authenticity. People are naturally drawn to those who are genuine and transparent, and any attempt to fake interest, over-impress, or manipulate others is usually detected and can backfire. Being authentic means being yourself, while also being mindful of how you present yourself to others, ensuring that your communication aligns with sincerity and integrity. Vulnerability also plays a role in authenticity. Sharing personal experiences, challenges, or relatable stories helps humanize interactions and creates an emotional connection. Another essential aspect of rapport building is the ability to match and adapt to the other person's energy level. If someone speaks slowly and calmly, responding with an overly enthusiastic and fast-paced tone can create a disconnect, just as responding with low energy to someone who is lively and animated may make them feel disengaged. Adjusting one's energy to align with the other person's communication style creates a natural rhythm in the conversation, making interactions feel more harmonious. Additionally, using a person's name during conversation helps personalize interactions and reinforces familiarity, making the exchange feel more intimate and engaging. Body language plays a crucial role in how people perceive each other, often communicating more than words. Open, inviting gestures, uncrossed arms, leaning slightly forward, and maintaining comfortable eye contact all signal engagement and interest. Conversely, defensive or closed-off body language, such as crossing arms, looking away frequently, or appearing distracted, can create subconscious resistance and make rapport building more challenging. Understanding nonverbal cues allows one to adjust their approach in real time, ensuring that they remain in sync with the other person's comfort level. Another effective way to strengthen rapport quickly is by demonstrating empathy, which involves recognizing and validating the other person's feelings, thoughts, and experiences. People feel an immediate connection to those who understand and acknowledge their emotions, making empathy a powerful tool in persuasion. Statements such as "I can see how that must have been difficult for you," or "that sounds like an exciting opportunity," show that one is attuned to the other person's emotions and invested in the conversation. This emotional connection builds trust and makes the other person more open to further engagement. Shared experiences also play a significant role in strengthening rapport, as people naturally bond over mutual activities, challenges, or goals. Whether it's collaborating on a project, attending an event together, or engaging in a shared interest, these experiences create a sense of camaraderie and deepen connections. In professional settings, working together toward a common objective fosters trust and teamwork, making rapport easier to establish and maintain. Another technique to build rapport instantly is the principle of consistency. Once someone makes a small commitment, they are more likely to maintain that stance in future interactions. Encouraging people to make minor agreements early in a conversation, such as nodding in agreement or committing to a small favor, can create a sense of continuity that strengthens the relationship. Storytelling is another powerful method to build instant rapport, as stories engage emotions, create relatability, and make conversations more compelling. A well-told story can captivate attention, evoke shared experiences, and make interactions more memorable. The key to storytelling is to make it relevant to the conversation, ensuring that it resonates with the other person and adds value to the exchange. Additionally, the way one speaks and uses their voice can significantly impact rapport building. A warm, steady, and confident tone conveys credibility and approachability, while a hesitant or monotonous voice may create disinterest or doubt. Adjusting vocal pitch, pacing, and inflection based on the context of the conversation helps maintain engagement and strengthens connection. Another essential component of rapport is patience and adaptability, as not every interaction will follow the same dynamics. Some people warm up quickly, while others take longer to establish trust. Being adaptable, recognizing the other person's comfort level, and adjusting one's approach accordingly ensures that rapport is built effectively. Finally, one of the most crucial elements in building rapport is making the other person feel valued and significant. People naturally respond positively to those who make them feel important, so expressing appreciation, acknowledging contributions, and genuinely celebrating their achievements fosters a strong connection. The ability to make others feel special is a rare and valuable skill that enhances relationships and increases influence. Ultimately, building instant rapport is about creating an environment where people feel comfortable, understood, and connected. It is a blend of psychological insight, social awareness, and authentic communication that paves the way for deeper relationships and successful persuasion. When people trust and like someone, they become far more open to influence, making rapport building one of the most powerful tools in achieving personal and professional success. Chapter 3: The Power of Body Language. Body language is an incredibly powerful and often underestimated form of communication that goes beyond words, influencing how we perceive others and how they perceive us. It includes a vast range of nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions, hand gestures, posture, eye contact, and even subtle movements, all of which work together to convey emotions, attitudes, confidence levels, and unspoken intentions. Research suggests that a significant portion of human communication, some say up to 93%, is nonverbal, meaning that even when words are spoken, their meaning is heavily influenced by the way they are delivered. A simple smile can instantly communicate warmth, friendliness, and openness, while a furrowed brow or crossed arms might suggest tension, defensiveness, or disagreement. Maintaining eye contact demonstrates confidence and attentiveness, while avoiding it can indicate nervousness, dishonesty, or insecurity. Our posture speaks volumes, as well. Standing tall with an open stance suggests self-assurance, while slouching or shrinking back can give the impression of low confidence or submission. Even the way we use our hands matters. Animated gestures can enhance the impact of speech, making a message more engaging and dynamic, while fidgeting may betray anxiety or restlessness. Body language is also deeply rooted in cultural differences, as gestures and expressions may carry different meanings across societies, making it crucial to be aware of context when interpreting nonverbal cues. In professional settings, strong body language can help establish authority, build trust, and foster positive first impressions, whether in a job interview, a business meeting, or a public speech. Likewise, in personal interactions, effective use of body language can strengthen relationships, enhance understanding, and promote deeper emotional connections. It also plays a crucial role in detecting lies or hidden emotions. Trained observers, such as law enforcement officers or psychologists, rely heavily on nonverbal signals to assess truthfulness and emotional states. Furthermore, body language affects not only how others see us, but also how we see ourselves. Studies have shown that adopting powerful body postures, such as the power pose, can increase feelings of confidence and even impact hormone levels, reinforcing the mind-body connection. Athletes, performers, and public speakers often use body language techniques to enhance their presence and performance, demonstrating its importance across various fields. In negotiations, strategic use of body language can influence outcomes, helping individuals appear more persuasive, authoritative, and in control. Understanding body language can also prevent miscommunication and misunderstandings, as sometimes what is left unsaid is just as important as what is verbalized. In group dynamics, nonverbal cues help establish leadership, cooperation, and team cohesion, allowing for a smoother collaboration and interpersonal synergy. Moreover, in romantic relationships, subtle nonverbal signs, such as mirroring gestures or leaning in, can indicate attraction and emotional closeness. Even in digital communication, where face-to-face interaction is limited, video calls have reintroduced the importance of body language, making eye contact, nodding, and expressive gestures key to engaging virtual conversations. Mastering body language allows people to navigate social and professional situations with greater ease, making them more persuasive, approachable, and emotionally intelligent. Ultimately, the ability to read and control body language is a crucial skill that can lead to success in nearly every aspect of life, from career advancement to building meaningful relationships and fostering deeper human connections. Chapter 4: The Art of Asking. Amanda Palmer delves into the intricate nature of vulnerability, particularly focusing on the act of asking for help and the power that comes with it. She reflects on how society often teaches individuals to shy away from asking, portraying it as a sign of weakness or dependence. In this chapter, Palmer challenges this narrative by sharing her own experiences, particularly from her life as a musician and artist, where she had to confront her fears and embrace asking for help, whether from fans, fellow artists, or even strangers. Through her journey, she realized that asking is not a sign of failure, but a human act that fosters connection, trust, and mutual exchange. By revealing her needs and being open about her vulnerabilities, Palmer found that people were often more willing to help than she expected, and the act of asking created a sense of community that benefited both her and the people she asked. The chapter explores how the act of asking for help, whether for emotional support, financial assistance, or creative collaboration, can be a bridge to deeper relationships and new opportunities. It pushes back against the modern ideal of self-sufficiency and instead embraces the idea that we are all interdependent. Palmer points out that when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and ask for what we need, we open ourselves to powerful acts of generosity and mutual aid. She reveals how her own experiences, including her crowdfunding campaign, showed her the immense generosity and solidarity that can exist between people when they are invited to share in someone else's story. By making ourselves available to others and asking for support, we give others a chance to contribute to something meaningful and be part of a larger collective experience. Palmer's reflections go beyond the individual act of asking for help. They touch on the broader theme of vulnerability as a transformative force. She suggests that asking allows us to be seen in our full humanity, embracing the imperfections and needs that make us who we are. In doing so, we not only receive help, but also invite others to share in our journey, creating a reciprocal dynamic where both parties benefit. She acknowledges that there will always be fear and discomfort in asking, but argues that the benefits far outweigh the risks. Vulnerability, in Palmer's view, is not something to hide, but to embrace, as it unlocks a deeper connection with others and a more authentic life experience. Through this chapter, she encourages readers to reconsider the meaning of vulnerability, to shed the shame and hesitation around asking, and to see it instead as a courageous step toward building stronger, more interconnected communities. By doing so, Palmer believes we can change the narrative around asking, reframing it as a powerful tool for connection, collaboration, and personal growth. Chapter 5: Emotional Intelligence and Influence. Of the Art of Asking, Amanda Palmer explores the concept of emotional intelligence, focusing on how this skill profoundly impacts our ability to influence others and create meaningful connections. Emotional intelligence involves understanding and managing one's own emotions, while also recognizing, understanding, and influencing the emotions of others in a way that fosters empathy and trust. Palmer emphasizes that emotional intelligence is not a fixed trait, but something that can be developed over time through practice and awareness. She highlights the importance of being attuned to the emotions of others, especially when trying to build relationships, whether personal or professional, as this creates an environment where people feel seen and understood. For Palmer, The essence of emotional intelligence lies in being present in the moment, listening deeply, and responding with authenticity and empathy. She shows how these skills are key to influencing others, particularly in the context of asking for support or help, rather than using manipulation or control. Influence, according to Palmer, comes from the ability to connect emotionally and to communicate in a way that resonates with others' needs and desires. She illustrates this concept through her own experiences, where she learned that in order to ask for help or raise support, it wasn't just about the ask itself, but how she emotionally engaged with her audience. Palmer's understanding of emotional intelligence extends beyond mere performance or public persona, touching on the real emotional labor involved in cultivating these deep connections. For her, this kind of emotional resonance and genuine understanding leads to stronger relationships and greater influence because people respond to being treated with respect, care, and vulnerability. The ability to navigate the emotional landscape of any relationship, she argues, is essential to influence, as it allows one to create an atmosphere where people feel safe, heard, and valued. Palmer's use of emotional intelligence isn't just about gaining support. It's about forming lasting, reciprocal bonds with others, where both parties contribute to a shared goal. By fostering these emotional connections, Palmer finds that influence isn't about power over others, but about creating a dynamic of mutual respect and understanding, where people are inspired to contribute and engage, because they feel emotionally invested in the cause. Through emotional intelligence, she suggests, we can lead not with force or authority, but with a deep sense of empathy and connection that inspires trust and collaboration, ultimately making influence a byproduct of genuine human connection rather than strategic manipulation. Palmer's insights make it clear that emotional intelligence is a vital tool for anyone seeking to create lasting relationships, gain support, or build a community around a shared vision. It's not just about knowing how to read others, but also about cultivating the self-awareness necessary to navigate our own emotions, making emotional intelligence an indispensable part of influencing others in any context. Through her own example, Palmer encourages readers to embrace emotional intelligence as a key to not only gaining influence, but also building more fulfilling, genuine connections that can lead to personal and collective growth. The art of asking, she argues, is deeply intertwined with emotional intelligence, as it requires an ability to read and understand the emotions of others, to communicate our needs in a way that resonates with them, and to build a space of vulnerability and trust that allows people to feel emotionally engaged and willing to help. Chapter 6: Handling Objection and Resistance. Amanda Palmer explores the challenge of handling objections and resistance when asking for help, support, or collaboration. She acknowledges that objections, whether they come in the form of skepticism, doubts, or direct refusal, are a natural part of any interaction where vulnerability is involved. Palmer stresses that it's important to not see resistance as a personal attack, but rather as an opportunity to engage in open, honest communication. The way we respond to objections can either build walls or strengthen relationships, and Palmer advocates for an approach that embraces empathy and understanding. Instead of getting defensive, she encourages a mindset that seeks to understand the underlying reasons for resistance, whether it's fear, lack of information, or simply a difference in perspective. Acknowledging the objection, validating the concerns, and addressing them thoughtfully can often turn resistance into a productive dialogue, where both sides feel heard and respected. Palmer emphasizes the value of maintaining authenticity when responding to objections, recognizing that being true to one's purpose and needs, while addressing concerns, can help clarify misunderstandings and build trust. She also discusses how some resistance is inevitable, especially when it comes to asking for support in unconventional ways, but advises that one should not let rejection derail the entire process. Persistence and resilience, she suggests, are key to moving past resistance, and learning from these encounters can lead to personal growth and stronger relationships. Palmer highlights that resistance doesn't necessarily mean failure, but can serve as a valuable tool for learning how to refine your ask or approach, and in some cases, even inspire new perspectives or solutions. She argues that objections are an inevitable part of any meaningful interaction, especially when navigating complex, emotionally charged requests. Handling objections well by staying calm, empathetic, and open ensures that even if the outcome isn't what was hoped for, the interaction itself fosters respect and understanding. Palmer's perspective shifts the narrative around rejection, suggesting that when you approach objections with the intention to connect rather than convince, it allows you to maintain a sense of emotional integrity and authenticity, regardless of the outcome. It's through this process of acknowledging and addressing resistance with empathy that we not only handle objections more effectively, but also deepen our connections with others, ensuring that even the most difficult conversations can lead to greater clarity and stronger relationships. Ultimately, Palmer teaches that the real power lies in how we handle resistance, not by resisting the resistance itself, but by meeting it with openness, grace, and a willingness to engage thoughtfully with the concerns of others. By doing this, we can turn potential obstacles into opportunities for deeper understanding, creating an environment where objections can be discussed productively rather than creating barriers. Palmer makes it clear that by reframing how we view resistance not as an obstacle, but as a step in the conversation, we can approach objections with curiosity, keeping the lines of communication open and allowing for the possibility of growth on both sides. Furthermore, Palmer reinforces that being resilient in the face of resistance doesn't mean forcing others to agree with us, but simply standing firm in our own needs, being willing to listen, and maintaining a sense of trust in the process, even when things don't go as planned. She argues that by showing up with empathy and patience, we create space for resistance to be expressed in a way that doesn't close doors, but opens up new avenues for mutual understanding and support. This process, though uncomfortable at times, can ultimately lead to stronger, more authentic connections, because it shows that we care enough about the person or the cause to engage with their concerns and remain open to feedback. Palmer's reflections serve as a reminder that objections and resistance are not only inevitable, but also essential elements in any meaningful exchange. And by handling them with authenticity, respect, and resilience, we can navigate them in a way that fosters both personal growth and deeper, more trusting relationships. Chapter 6: Surrounding yourself with positivity. Surrounding yourself with positivity is one of the most powerful ways to shape your mindset, influence your emotions, and create a life filled with happiness, resilience, and success. Every day, we are influenced by the people we interact with, the environments we live in, and the thoughts we allow to take root in our minds, all of which have a profound impact on our overall well-being. The human brain is highly susceptible to external influences, and according to the principles of emotional contagion in psychology, we tend to absorb and mirror the emotions, attitudes, and behaviors of those around us, whether consciously or subconsciously. This means that being in the company of positive, growth-oriented, and supportive individuals can significantly enhance our motivation, self-esteem, and overall emotional stability, while spending time around negative, critical, or toxic individuals can lead to increased stress, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. The key to cultivating a positive environment starts with evaluating the relationships in our lives, choosing to invest in friendships and connections that bring encouragement, inspiration, and joy, while distancing ourselves from those that drain energy, create unnecessary conflict, or foster a sense of inadequacy. Toxic relationships, whether in friendships, family, or the workplace, can be emotionally suffocating, constantly reinforcing doubt and negativity, which is why setting clear boundaries and protecting our mental space is essential. However, surrounding yourself with positivity goes beyond just the people in your life. It also includes the media you consume, the spaces you inhabit, and the thoughts you entertain. In the digital age, information overload is a common issue, and the type of content we expose ourselves to has a direct effect on our mood and perception of the world. Consuming positive and uplifting content, whether through books, podcasts, music, or inspirational videos, can reinforce an optimistic and empowered mindset, while excessive exposure to negative news, fear-based social media discussions, and online toxicity can create unnecessary anxiety, fear, and cynicism. This is why curating a digital environment that supports mental well-being is crucial. Choosing to follow pages, channels, and individuals who inspire, educate, and uplift rather than those who spread negativity, promote a culture of comparison and dissatisfaction. Equally important is our physical environment, as cluttered, chaotic, or uninspiring spaces can create a sense of unease and stress, while well-organized, peaceful, and aesthetically pleasing environments can promote clarity, relaxation. Designing a space that feels uplifting, whether by incorporating natural light, calming colors, plants, or meaningful decor, can have a profound psychological effect, making it easier to maintain a sense of inner peace and focus. Beyond external factors, surrounding yourself with positivity also involves developing internal habits that foster an optimistic and resilient mindset. Practicing gratitude daily can shift focus from what is lacking to what is already present, reinforcing a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Mindfulness, which involves staying present and fully engaged in the moment, helps to reduce unnecessary stress and allows us to appreciate life's simple joys, from a warm cup of coffee in the morning to the laughter of a loved one. Positive affirmations, which are statements of self-empowerment and belief, help to reprogram the subconscious mind, replacing limiting thoughts with empowering ones. Engaging in activities that bring joy and fulfillment, such as creative pursuits, physical exercise, time in nature, or meaningful conversations, also plays a significant role in maintaining a high vibrational state that naturally attracts more positivity into life. Acts of kindness and generosity further enhance emotional well-being, as giving to others fosters a sense of purpose, strengthens human connections, and amplifies feelings of fulfillment and gratitude. However, surrounding yourself with positivity does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending that difficulties do not exist. Rather, it means creating a mental and emotional foundation that allows for resilience, optimism, and proactive problem-solving in the face of adversity. When confronted with obstacles, those who maintain a positive environment and mindset are better equipped to reframe setbacks as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable failures. They approach problems with a solution-oriented perspective, seeing possibilities where others see roadblocks. This shift in mindset is crucial for long-term success and happiness, as it enables individuals to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and adaptability. In the long run, surrounding yourself with positivity is about being intentional with your choices, choosing relationships that uplift rather than drain, curating content that inspires rather than discourages, maintaining spaces that bring peace rather than chaos, and cultivating habits that nurture an optimistic and empowered outlook. It is about recognizing that the energy you allow into your life shapes your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and by consciously choosing positivity, you set yourself up for a life that is not only more joyful, but also more fulfilling and purpose-driven. Chapter 7 of Negotiation Mastery offers a comprehensive, detailed breakdown of how negotiators can create value in negotiations by focusing on collaboration, rather than competing for limited resources. It challenges the traditional view of negotiation as a win-lose exchange, advocating instead for a mindset of abundance, where both parties work together to identify mutually beneficial solutions that expand the pie rather than divide it. The chapter lays out the core concept of value creation, which involves understanding the broader interests, desires, and underlying motivations of both parties involved, going beyond the surface-level positions to explore the deeper needs that can lead to innovative solutions. The idea is to shift away from a zero-sum perspective, where one side's gain is perceived as the other's loss, and towards finding ways to maximize benefits for all involved, allowing both sides to feel like winners. To facilitate this process, the chapter emphasizes the importance of preparation, particularly the need to thoroughly research the other party's objectives, constraints, preferences, and potential areas of flexibility. Understanding these factors is essential for framing the negotiation in a way that aligns with both parties' goals and opens up new possibilities for value creation. One of the key techniques discussed is asking probing questions and listening actively, which enables negotiators to uncover hidden interests and challenges assumptions, often revealing new opportunities that weren't initially obvious. Additionally, reframing issues in ways that move away from entrenched positions is highlighted as a vital tool for transforming contentious topics into areas of creative exploration. In practice, this involves presenting multiple options for resolving conflicts, offering alternatives that give both parties room to maneuver without sacrificing their core interests. The chapter also introduces the idea of joint problem solving, which involves viewing the negotiation as a collaborative effort, where both sides share the goal of solving a mutual problem rather than simply maximizing individual gain. This cooperative approach is closely tied to building trust, which the chapter suggests is the foundation of any successful negotiation. Trust is nurtured through transparency, clear communication, and demonstrating a genuine interest in the other party's needs and concerns. By fostering an atmosphere of mutual respect and understanding, negotiators can create an environment where both sides are more likely to engage in open dialogue and work together toward creative, mutually agreeable solutions. The role of emotional intelligence is also addressed, with the chapter stressing the need for negotiators to be attuned to both their own emotions and those of the other party, as emotional awareness can significantly influence the outcome of a negotiation. The chapter emphasizes the importance of flexibility and adaptability in one's approach, recognizing that no two negotiations are the same, and that being able to adjust tactics in response to the dynamics of the conversation is crucial for success. By remaining open to new ideas, being willing to adjust strategies, and demonstrating empathy, negotiators can build rapport and create an environment where both sides are more likely to engage in constructive problem solving. Furthermore, the chapter provides insight into how negotiators can navigate difficult moments, such as when negotiations reach an impasse, by reframing the issue, offering new perspectives, or introducing alternative solutions that reinvigorate the discussion. This process of rethinking and re-envisioning possible outcomes is a cornerstone of the value creation approach, as it encourages creativity and encourages negotiators to think beyond traditional limits. In addition to expanding options, the chapter stresses the importance of crafting agreements that are not only beneficial in the short term, but also sustainable in the long term, by ensuring that the solutions are aligned with the broader goals of both parties. Through these strategies, negotiators can create enduring, positive relationships that extend beyond the negotiation at hand, enhancing the chances of future successful interactions. The idea of mutual gains is deeply embedded in the chapter, with the understanding that even if parties have differing views or goals, there is almost always a way to create value that benefits everyone involved. Additionally, the chapter illustrates how this mindset can be particularly effective in complex or high-stakes negotiations, where the stakes may be high and the potential for conflict is greater, but where the reward for collaboration can be especially valuable. One of the core takeaways is that negotiation is not just a tactical game of haggling over terms, but a dynamic process that requires careful preparation, emotional intelligence, creativity, and a willingness to explore new ways of creating value for both sides. In many cases, the negotiation itself is just the beginning of a deeper, ongoing relationship that can offer long-term benefits to all parties, and the ability to negotiate effectively can have a profound impact on personal and professional success. By embracing these principles, negotiators not only increase their chances of reaching a favorable outcome, but also build a reputation as skilled, thoughtful, and collaborative negotiators, who are capable of turning even the most challenging situations into opportunities for growth and mutual benefit. Chapter 8: Advanced Influence Tactics delves deeply into advanced influence tactics, providing negotiators with a sophisticated understanding of psychological, strategic, and behavioral techniques to shape perceptions, guide decision-making, and enhance persuasive power. The chapter emphasizes the critical role of framing, where the way information is presented alters how the other party perceives risk, value, and available choices, subtly steering them toward desired outcomes. It explains the anchoring effect, demonstrating how the first number or proposal introduced in a negotiation serves as a psychological benchmark that influences all subsequent discussions, often skewing the final agreement in favor of the party who sets the initial reference point. Reciprocity is explored as a fundamental social principle, where giving small concessions, gestures of goodwill, or exclusive insights creates a sense of obligation in the other party, making them more likely to respond positively. The scarcity principle is highlighted as a powerful motivator, showing how emphasizing limited availability, exclusivity, or time constraints increases urgency and the perceived value of an offer. The chapter also examines storytelling as a vital persuasion tool, revealing how narratives engage emotions, enhance memory retention, and make arguments more compelling than raw data or logic alone. It stresses the importance of credibility and likability, explaining that negotiators who establish trust, demonstrate expertise, and foster genuine rapport significantly enhance their ability to persuade and influence others. Nonverbal communication, including tone, body language, eye contact, and strategic pauses, is discussed as a subtle yet powerful reinforcement of verbal persuasion, often carrying more weight than words. The contrast effect is explored as a method of making a preferred option appear more attractive by strategically presenting it alongside less desirable alternatives, subtly guiding the other party's choices. Tactical empathy is introduced as a technique for allowing resistance, where acknowledging and validating the other party's emotions creates a cooperative atmosphere and makes them more receptive to influence. The chapter discusses mirroring and labeling, psychological rapport-building tactics that encourage deeper engagement and information sharing by subtly aligning with the other party's behavior and emotions. Social proof is examined as a key influence driver, demonstrating how people are more likely to comply with suggestions that appear widely accepted, endorsed by authorities, or aligned with social norms. The principle of commitment and consistency is explored, explaining how individuals are more likely to follow through on agreements that align with their past commitments, reinforcing the need to secure small, initial agreements to pave the way for larger ones. Priming is introduced as a method of subtly influencing decisions by exposing individuals to specific words, ideas, or emotions before the negotiation, shaping their subconscious reactions. The chapter highlights time pressure and deadlines as tools that push hesitant parties toward decisions, as urgency reduces overthinking and increases compliance. Loss aversion is explored as a key driver of decision-making, showing how people are more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the opportunity to gain something of equal value, making it a powerful tool for persuasion. Perspective taking is emphasized as an essential skill, where understanding the motivations, concerns, and goals of the other party enables negotiators to craft arguments that resonate on a deeper psychological level. The chapter discusses power dynamics, demonstrating how negotiators can shift leverage through confidence, strategic concessions, and information control. Decoy pricing strategies are examined, where introducing a deliberately less attractive option makes the preferred offer seem significantly more desirable by comparison. Calibrated questioning is introduced as a subtle method of guiding the other party toward preferred conclusions, while allowing them to feel in control of the conversation. Norm setting is highlighted as an effective way to align proposals with perceived industry standards, ethical expectations, or social norms, making them appear more reasonable and acceptable. Flattery and affirmation are examined as psychological tools to increase compliance, where making the other party feel valued and respected fosters goodwill and a greater willingness to agree. Repetition and reinforcement are discussed as techniques for solidifying key messages by embedding them subtly throughout the negotiation, ensuring that critical points stick in the other party's mind. Strategic silence is explored as a powerful tool, showing how well-timed pauses create discomfort, encourage the other party to reveal more information, or prompt them to reconsider their position. The chapter also covers authority bias, where people are more likely to be persuaded by individuals who project expertise, confidence, or a high-status position, making perceived authority a critical factor in influence. The ethical application of these tactics is emphasized, highlighting the fine line between persuasion and manipulation, and ensuring that influence strategies are used responsibly to maintain integrity and long-term relationships. Ultimately, the chapter ties all these tactics together, reinforcing that true mastery of influence is not about coercion, but about understanding human psychology, fostering trust, creating value, and guiding negotiations toward mutually beneficial outcomes while preserving and strengthening long-term relationships. And understood. She underscores that ethical persuasion includes listening as much as it involves speaking, being receptive to others' concerns, desires, and needs. By understanding and incorporating the perspectives of those you're attempting to persuade, you not only build trust, but create a relationship based on mutual respect and empathy. Palmer also addresses how transparency and honesty in persuasion go hand in hand with ethical practices, as people are more likely to be persuaded when they understand why they're being asked to take action and what the potential outcomes will be. She cautions against using persuasive tactics that rely on deceit or hidden motives, as these can lead to resentment, distrust, and manipulation, ultimately undermining the long-term effectiveness of the persuasion. For Palmer, the ethics of persuasion are about ensuring that influence is used in a way that benefits both the person doing the persuading and the person being persuaded, creating a win-win situation that strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of shared purpose. By aligning persuasion with ethics, individuals can influence others in a way that feels authentic and supportive, not exploitative. Palmer emphasizes the need to use persuasion to build, rather than break down trust, recognizing that influence is most effective when it is rooted in the understanding that everyone involved has a voice and a choice. At its core, Palmer suggests that ethical persuasion is about more than achieving a specific goal. It's about creating a foundation of trust, empathy, and mutual respect that can lead to lasting, positive change. She advocates for using persuasion as a tool to uplift and empower others, not as a way to manipulate them into doing something they don't want or feel uncomfortable with. Palmer encourages readers to be mindful of the ethical implications of their persuasive efforts, always striving to influence in a way that promotes transparency, equality, and consent. Ethical persuasion, as Palmer explains, is about ensuring that both parties in a conversation feel seen and understood, and that the desired outcome is achieved in a way that benefits everyone involved. It's a subtle and powerful form of influence that relies on care, empathy, and the understanding that true persuasion is about creating connection rather than coercion. Through this ethical lens, Palmer believes that persuasion can be a powerful force for good, helping to build stronger, more compassionate relationships that are based on trust and shared values. By embracing the ethics of persuasion, Palmer suggests, we can foster environments where influence is used not for personal gain, but to create positive, sustainable change that benefits all parties involved. Conclusion. The conclusion of How to Get Anything You Want from Anyone deeply explores the core principles of influence, persuasion, and the psychology behind getting people to say yes, while maintaining trust, authenticity, and ethical responsibility. It reinforces the idea that true influence is not about manipulation or coercion, but about creating genuine, meaningful connections with others by understanding their needs, emotions, and motivations. The book emphasizes that people are more likely to comply with requests when they feel valued, respected, and understood, making emotional intelligence, confidence, and strategic communication essential skills for persuasion. It highlights that successful influence is not just about what you ask for, but how you ask, when you ask, and why the other person would want to agree, demonstrating the importance of reciprocity, timing, and alignment with the other party's interests. Mastering nonverbal cues such as body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can significantly enhance persuasive efforts, as these subtle signals often communicate more than words alone. The book also stresses that storytelling is one of the most powerful tools for influence, as compelling narratives engage emotions and create a sense of connection, making people more receptive to requests. Ethical persuasion is a key theme in the conclusion, warning against deception and manipulation, as they can lead to short-term success, but ultimately damage relationships and credibility in the long run. Instead, the book advocates for an approach based on trust, transparency, and mutual benefit, ensuring that persuasion is a positive force that fosters cooperation rather than resentment. Another critical aspect discussed is the role of social proof and authority, as people tend to follow those they perceive as knowledgeable, experienced, or widely respected, making credibility an essential factor in persuasive efforts. The book also explores the psychology of commitment and consistency, showing that people are more likely to agree to larger requests if they have already committed to smaller ones, making gradual influence a powerful technique. Moreover, it emphasizes that true influence is not just about making requests, but also about knowing when to listen, adapt, and respond to the other person's concerns with empathy and flexibility. The conclusion drives home the point that getting what you want from others requires patience, persistence, and a deep understanding of human nature, as well as a willingness to build genuine relationships that create long-term opportunities for success. Rather than viewing persuasion as a transaction, the book encourages readers to see it as an art form that requires emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and a sincere desire to create value for both parties involved. It reminds readers that the most influential people are not those who demand or manipulate, but those who inspire and invite cooperation, making others feel good about saying yes rather than pressured or forced. By aligning your requests with the values, interests, and emotional triggers of others, you can dramatically increase your ability to persuade in a way that feels effortless and natural. Ultimately, the book concludes that mastering persuasion is not about shortcuts or tricks, but about truly understanding people, building trust, and creating an environment where getting what you want is not just possible, but welcomed, leading to stronger relationships, greater success, and a more fulfilling way of interacting with the world.